can't go a day without thinking about what he's done to this country, because he's such a little baby that he's thrown 250 years of democracy out the window by not accepting the results of it. I mean, it's so crazy. He's such a sociopath. He's so insane. He just couldn't admit.
Larry David just delivered the most brutal takedown of Donald Trump, one so savage even Curb Your Enthusiasm couldn't script it. With his trademark sarcasm and zero-filter attitude, Larry tore into Trump like never before, leaving everyone stunned. Did Trump attempt to respond? Hold on tight, because this roast is about to get wild.
Trump's a racist!
It's Larry David. What are you?
Larry David did what he does best, exposing absurdity with the surgical precision and mischievous joy of a kid-popping bubble wrap. This time, his target, none other than the orange-tinted, self-proclaimed billionaire genius who somehow managed to lose money running the casino. That's right, Donald J. Trump, the man whose brain seems locked in a never-ending wrestling match with reality. And let's face it, reality is absolutely body-slamming him right now.
And we know he lost. He knows he lost. And look how he's fooled everybody. He's convinced all these people that he didn't lose. He's such a sick man. He's so sick. Anyway, no, it hasn't impacted me at all.
With his signature blend of brutal honesty and razor-sharp wit, Larry David isn't just roasting Trump, he's flambeing him. After decades of perfecting the art of dissecting life's smallest inconveniences, Larry's having a field day with a walking, talking contradiction like Trump. The man built his entire brand on winning, yet his track record is filled with L's so massive, they'd make the New York Knicks feel a little better about themselves.
He's such a sick man. He's so sick. Anyway, no, it hasn't impacted me at all.
But Larry's not the only one stepping into the ring. Enter another heavyweight in the truth-telling arena, a voice that doesn't just call out nonsense, but obliterates it like a wrecking ball tearing through a house of cheap, gold-plated lies. She doesn't just speak truth to power, she serves it up on a silver platter, extra spicy, no chaser. And when it comes to Trump, she's not here for the fluff, sugarcoating, or both sides nonsense. No, she delivers a raw, unfiltered reality check like a verbal Mike Tyson, punching through bloated rhetoric, exposing flimsy foundations, and landing knockout blows to an ego that thrives on delusion. Trump's empire of exaggeration and bravado is built on a foundation shakier than a Jenga tower put together by someone who just downed 5 espressos. He claims to be the ultimate dealmaker, yet his history is a graveyard of failed businesses, bankrupt casinos, and university scams that would make a snake oil salesman blush. He paints himself as the champion of the working class while living in a penthouse that looks like Liberis, and King Midas had a fever dream, and he insists he's the smartest guy in any room, despite speaking like a guy who forgot the last half of every sentence he started. If you're enjoying this, don't forget to subscribe. Larry David and his truth-slinging counterpart are doing what the mainstream media often tiptoes around, stripping Trump's narrative down to its absurd core. At the end of the day, Trump isn't some political mastermind or business genius. He's a guy who stumbled into power by turning politics into a reality show, where the most outrageous contestant wins. Much like an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm *, his entire public persona is a never-ending parade of social blunders, desperate ego-stroking, and a total lack of self-awareness. What makes Larry's takedown so hilarious is that it doesn't require exaggeration. Just pointing out the contradictions in Trump's own words is enough to send an audience into fits of laughter. The guy claims to be a stable genius, but can't get basic geography right. He promises to drain the swamp while filling his cabinet with billionaires and lobbyists. He rants about fake news while spewing more fiction than a late-night infomercial. When you combine Larry David's relentless satire with the no-nonsense truth-teller who isn't afraid to call out every fraud, hypocrisy, and delusional rant in real time, you get something powerful. A comedy roast that doubles as a public service announcement. In a world where absurdity often goes unchecked, sometimes the best response isn't fact-checking or outrage. It's laughing in the face of nonsense and exposing it for what it is, One long, exhausting, poorly written sitcom that desperately needs to be
Phil, good to see you. Sit down, sit down. Boy, I'm so glad we did this. It was such a good idea. You were definitely right. I'm starving. I hope this place is good.
Yeah, it's great. It's a big portions on the food and everything. It's a fantastic place.
You know what else I've been thinking? Really thinking about this Ethiopia thing.
Yeah, actually, I heard that we have some budget cuts and Ethiopia is a little expensive to shoot in.
Wasn't that one of the shithole countries? I can't remember if that was on the list or not.
Oh, look, I'm getting that thing. Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that. My son's flight got in early, and I gotta get him. I gotta go get him.
Really?
Yeah, no, really.
Let's send an Uber or something.
He needs to see me because he has a little anxiety.
No, you know what, Phil?
No,
When it comes to Donald Trump, the list of reasons people get fed up with him is longer than a CVS receipt. So what set Larry David off this time? Let's be honest, picking just one reason is like playing a never-ending game of whack-a-mole. Maybe it was Trump's latest attempt at redefining truth, which in his world just means whatever he blurts out at any given moment. Or perhaps it's the fact that listening to him speak is like running a Twitter rant through a malfunctioning blender, loud, messy, and full of half-baked nonsense. But whatever it was, one thing's for sure. Larry David, the king of social discomfort, has had enough. And in true asterisk curb your enthusiasm asterisk fashion, he's not holding back. Larry isn't just rolling his eyes from the sidelines anymore. He's calling Trump out for running the same tired script over and over. It's like a bad sitcom that somehow keeps getting renewed. Trump has played the victim card like it's his personal asterisk, get out of jail free asterisk pass. Whether it's about attempting to overturn a democratic election or the countless other controversies that have followed him. His response is always the same: whine about being persecuted, fire up his base with claims of injustice, and pretend he's some sort of martyr. And somehow, people still buy into it like it's the latest iPhone release.
Thinking. And we would take like photos of Melania and we put a thought balloon over her head, and the joke would be what she's thinking, like, get me the hell of this marriage, or even my hands are bigger than this guy's hands. You know, stuff like that.
Yeah, interesting.
And it would be repeatable because there's so many photos and clips of Melania out there.
Uh-huh.
So do you want to try it for rehearsal, or?
Let me think about it.
All right, come on. I can't listen to this. Let me think about it. Are you serious? You're not gonna think. You don't want to think about it.
Really? Because he said it was interesting.
Interesting? That was a fake interesting.
It's a fake interesting.
Fake interesting is this. Here's a fake interesting. Interesting. Here's a real interesting. Interesting.
Let's talk about Trump's relationship with the truth, if you can even call it that. The man lies with such confidence it's almost impressive. Almost. His strategy is simple: say something outrageous, repeat it until his base believes it, then claim the media is out to get him whenever they dare to fact-check. It's political gaslighting at an Olympic level. He's been caught lying so many times that fact-checkers practically have a full-time job just trying to keep up. But does that stop him? Of course not, because in Trump's world, truth isn't based on facts. It's based on whatever gets the biggest reaction. And Larry David? He's not playing nice. He's not interested in political games. He's here to speak the facts, plain and simple. This isn't about political bias or a difference of opinion. It's about accountability. Trump has spent years convincing his supporters that reality is whatever he says it is, even when the facts clearly prove otherwise. And every time he's called out, it's the same response: cry witch hunt instead of owning up to anything. It's the same tired routine, and somehow it still works. Now picture this: Larry in all his neurotic glory, sitting at a cafe sipping on his overpriced latte. He overhears some poor soul mention Trump's name, and that's it. The spark is lit. Before anyone can stop him, he's off on a tirade so brutally honest and painfully accurate. Even Trump's personal team of yes men wouldn't be able to spin their way out of it. First up, let's talk about the walking contradiction that is Donald Trump. The man has spent his entire career telling people he's the best at literally everything. Nobody knows more about the military than me. Nobody respects women more than me. I know more about insert topic than the actual experts who studied it for decades. It's like watching a 5-year-old dress up in a superhero cape and declare he's the mayor of the moon. Cute if it were a child, deeply unsettling when it's a former president.
Anything you want. You can grab him by the pussy.
What did you say?
What?
Why are you wearing a bathrobe? And that hat?
Oh, no. You're
Oh my God, God, you're friends with that monster?
No, I'm
No.
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 I'm getting a lawyer.
No. What? Hey, what? No, not
And of course, Larry wouldn't miss the chance to roast Trump's breathtaking ability to dodge responsibility. Whether it's losing an election, failing at a business venture, or anything else that goes wrong within a 100-mile radius of his presence, it's never his fault. It's always the media, the deep state, a vast left-wing conspiracy, or even the barista at Starbucks who didn't put enough whipped cream on his frappuccino. There's always someone else to blame, and Trump delivers excuses with the confidence of a man who could walk into a job interview completely unprepared and still insist he's the most qualified person in the room. Then we have the all-time classic, Trump's unshakable belief that he's the most intelligent person to ever grace the earth. He loves to remind people of his very big brain, as if he's some genius prodigy that even Einstein would have studied. Meanwhile, the man struggles with basic geography, thinks windmills cause cancer, and once stared directly into a solar eclipse, like a daredevil challenging the sun to a staring contest. Larry must have had a field day with this one. It's one thing to claim you're a genius, but it's another thing entirely when your most profound intellectual moment involves being baffled by a water bottle.
Larry David makes fun of Trump and only wears the MAGA hat as a way to repel people, preventing others from sitting next to him.
And let's not forget Trump's obsession with crowd sizes. For a man who supposedly has the thickest skin in politics, he sure seems emotionally wounded by the idea that not every single person on earth wants to line up and cheer for him. Larry probably threw in a classic. Oh, he must be losing sleep at night over those rally numbers, just pacing back and forth in his golden tower, screaming at his staff, "Why don't they love me more?" The man once held an entire press conference just to insist his inauguration crowd was the biggest ever. Imagine losing sleep over how many people showed up to watch you take an oath. Truly presidential priorities.
There are people that wear the MAGA hat and like what the MAGA hat represents. Are you afraid about alienating them? They could be fans of the show.
alienate yourselves. Yeah. Go and alienate. You have my blessing. No, I could give a
But the real masterpiece of this roast was Larry calling out Trump's complete inability to take a joke. For someone who built a career as a TV personality, you'd think he'd have at least a molecule of self-awareness. But no, the man takes himself so seriously that if you so much as hint at a joke at his expense, he acts like he just got personally attacked in the Hunger Games. And that's exactly what makes Larry David's takedown so brilliant. Because Trump's kryptonite isn't logic, facts, or political opponents. It's ridicule, humor, and being laughed at instead of feared. Larry David, the master of calling out ridiculous behavior, just delivered a comedy smackdown for the ages. So whether you love Larry or hate him, one thing's for sure, when it comes to exposing the absurdity of Donald Trump, he didn't just curb enthusiasm, he dismantled it.